everyone, and welcome to the show. This is a live demo of the Battle Antiqua Magica game. I am Magenta, and I'm here with your host today, Storm, and we're going to get started.
Okay. Yeah. All righty. So, first and foremost, Magenta, can you see, and hopefully it's right, can you see this and read it?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, we're using Tabletop Simulator, and I like Tabletop Simulator. It does some, you know, it's the most miniatures looking VTT that I have seen. So, it's great. So, we've in the past we've played the video. We'll spare you that 3 minutes of time and just tell you that the basic scenario is an invasion by orcs against a country called Clovene. This is part of a one-off RPG adventure that uses my Paracosmic Convergence RPG. While the adventurers, the player characters, are off searching for a wizard's tower out in the forest, this orc army shows up and tries to break through the western barrier here. So Magenta's going to be playing the humans. I'll be playing the orcs.
And I aim to stop the orcs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Let's make okay. So just verifying that all of our somewhat complicated streaming is actually working. It appears to be working, other than my inadvertent. Let's get the screen share up, make sure that people can still see the screen. Just started this program some time back, about 3 episodes, so it's we're still trying to learn everything. Okay, there we are. So looks to be working. Righty, just checking. All right. So we've typically it's a point buy system, but we're going to move past that just to keep things going. So we already have an army laid out that was chosen by Magenta previous to play. So I think you've got everything. Do you have everything deployed the way you want? Looks like you don't have all of your army out just yet. So
I am I am missing some units that would be manning these ballistas over here on the right side.
can you see those okay?
Yes.
Okay. There you go. All righty.
Other than that, I think I kind of think I wanted to have a few of the troops over on the right hand side here that are behind my cavalry. I think I wanted some of them on the other side, kind of behind the cavalry over there.
Okay.
And I think otherwise, that's pretty much it.
Okay. You're having a little your audio is a little bit choppy and broken up. I don't know if you can do anything about that or no, but just to let you know.
Is it better now?
It does seem better. Why don't you say the Gettysburg Address so we know for sure?
No, thank you.
Okay. All righty.
Oh, it appears some nasty orcs are coming out of the trees.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Um. So. So we have them based. I guess the first thing is you don't really need, as far as basing, left that open. A lot of older games had very specific basing requirements. I haven't really gotten into that because you get so many people that prefer to just kind of be lackadaisical about that sort of thing. And, that's the term I use, or just, they don't want to be hindered with it. I also wanted a game that was miniatures agnostic. And there's another reason why sticking to any particular basing can be problematic for people that go, well, I'd like to insert this product, but I've already have them based at insert this dimension and all that. So we just kind of leave it open. Go ahead. I hear you wanting to.
Well, I just wanted to mention the only reason these are baked the way they are is just because for myself, I have trouble with the selecting in Tabletop Simulator. Sometimes I don't get it quite right, and I don't grab the units I want. This spacing makes it a little bit easier. I don't know if that would be the case for other people, but like I can lift up a whole entire row and just move them if I don't move them too fast. But sometimes they do get moved too fast. They really stick on these. So if that should happen to you, you can just pick the little guys. They'll land back on the dot and you pick them up.
We're having a lot of trouble hearing you with your audio. You've got
sorry
got that every other word disappearing issue again.
Very sorry about that.
I don't know what you can do, if anything, but it's pretty prominent there. So
sorry.
Is there anything you can maybe do to adjust that, or do you have any backup or anything like that?
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. So while she's trying to see if she can smooth that out, I don't know. Based on what I'm seeing with the ping, it's going up and down in a fairly erratic manner, and that may be why it's doing what it's doing. And I don't know that she can control that. Online gaming is great. I love it. Unfortunately, sometimes your ISP is not, and there's really not too much you can do about it. So we'll work with what we got. So yeah, the orcs will be emerging from the forest, and they'll be attempting to just basically what they want to do is secure the road for the main force of their army, and this group is what Magenta has decided to muster in defense. It's a point-buy system. You can customize any miniatures that you want. There's a system for customization. It's very simple. You simply just, you have a list of, I think I've come up with everything possible, but, number of attacks, if it's some sort of monster, armor bonus if it has a thick hide. There's all the different types of, plate, mail armor, that kind of thing is all in there. And so you could just look at that sheet and say, okay, I've got this miniature here, and he's a normal human soldier with plate mail and a spear. Okay. So just by looking at that at a chart of those different attributes and what they cost, you can get a quick total for the model in points and put it into your army. So uh, hmm. Well, I don't know what happened to Magenta. Are you there, Magenta? Hmm. I guess she's still working on it. All I hear is a hiss. So um, sometimes I guess maybe I should have just, if it ain't, be thankful what you got, because there's always the possibility you make it worse instead of better. So maybe I should have just not pressured her. But um, I don't hear anything now. Doesn't sound like she's there. So I'll just keep setting up, and hopefully she'll come back to us. Um, wow.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Okay,
Okay,
how's it
how's it
sound
sound
now?
now?
Um, like I say, you can just try to say a few sentences. Just
Well,
Well,
okay, I
okay, I
guess I
guess I
can
can
say
say
something. I
something.
don't
I
know
don't know
exactly what
exactly what
you
I
want to
want to
hear,
hear,
but
but
how's it
how's it
sound?
sound?
rap Eminem.
No,
No,
never.
never.
Okay.
That would
That would
just
just
embarrass
embarrass
everyone
everyone
who's
who's
listening.
listening.
And by embarrass, you mean entertain.
No, no. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so.
Slim Shady. It does. So far, we haven't had the breaking up. It
Well,
does.
Well,
that's
that's
good.
good.
I don't know, but it does. Not that it matters, because you come through clear, but when you remain silent, there is a odd static. Um, I don't know, just for your own purposes later on. Um,
Give me
Give me
one
one
second. I'm
second.
going
I'm
to
going to
mute my
mute my
mic.
mic.
Hold on,
Hold on,
please.
please.
anyway, well, this is the kind of thing that let's see what happens here. Yeah, people are already gone. Nobody has any patience. So.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm
I'm
back
back
now.
now.
And
And
if
if
you
you
don't hear
don't
the
hear the
odd
odd
static,
static,
then that
then that
means it
means
was
it
my
was
air
my air
conditioner.
conditioner.
I don't think that was what was making it, but that's okay.
All right. Well,
That's all right. It sounds fine enough. It's perfectly fine. I was honestly just making conversation while I set up a little bit there.
okay.
So I am seeing if anybody will actually. There's a lot of people that said that they wanted to check this out, and so I just thought maybe I can entice them to come. So, alrighty. Let's keep going. See if it has a memory enough to do this. So, obviously we're just starting with the movement phase. There's cavalry and fast mover. Certain leg infantry is faster than normal. Normal being about 4 inches. We're kind of approximating it just to kind of jump off the gun here a little bit. So if you're fly, if you're cavalry, or if you're one of those special fast movers, you move first. Then the second movement is for everybody who has a normal speed. So in this case, what I'm doing is just kind of deploying from outside of the forest. The movie that we spared people from watching, maybe we should have played it just to capture some attention, but was the story was that the orcs were coming out of the forest, a misty kind of spooky scene of a whole army emerging from camouflage to attack. So that's what we're kind of going for here.
And considering they're orcs, we could probably smell coming.
Right. Could be the case. Yep. So.
So brief tutorial for anyone who hasn't ever used a tabletop simulator. I think we did this before in a previous show, but for anyone who wasn't watching at that time, the basic controls are your standard W to move forward, S to move back, A for left, B for right, and that's how you move your position across the board itself. And then you can also do mouse wheel zoom in and out. Oh, I forgot. I'm not sharing my screen, sharing yours. Sorry, I'm doing all this stuff, but nobody can see it. But anyway, that's what we're doing for the controls to move around. If you left click, you can pick up an item. Once it's in the air, you can use the mouse wheel to kind of roll it around in a 360 to get it positioned exactly right. I think those are really the main ones you need to know. Oh, and the right mouse button. If you hold that down and move, that changes your camera angle, so it rotates. Allows you to pan and all that stuff. You can up and down, angle it, all of that kind of stuff.
All righty. So. Bum, 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 bum. Do you know how to use this ruler? It's fairly
vaulting.
It's fairly straightforward. It doesn't obviously have any numerical, but every the black and white, each one represents an inch, and it's supposed to be 12 inches. So you can use that for range. Your arrows have 10-inch range. So for people that are
so nobody is close enough for me to fire on just yet.
There you have your bows. Long bow is a 10-inch range. Okay, just so people can see how that works. All righty. What they call the bowman stakes are a hindrance, but not a impenetrable barrier. So they're not typically something that the defender wants to unearth. They do restrict the movement of cavalry, so uh, just so you know that much. Although you were told that when you deployed, and this is what you chose, and that's fine. So just so you know. Um, Other than that, you can tear them up if you want, but you can't put them back. So just so you know. So beyond that, if you want to just hold and wait, that's up to you. If you want to sally forth and engage, that's up to you. It's completely your decision. But it is your turn for movement if you have any to make.
Well,
Well,
I
I
actually, I did not know that these bowman stakes were going to impede my cavalry. I'm sorry, I don't remember that. So I would want to leave like one opening, like to take these up, so that I can move. I want to have the freedom to move if I need to, but I don't want to meet the first move. Does that make sense?
Okay. So move well, here. Move the put it back.
And you move it out so that they can get around it.
Yeah, you just so what you do, just hold on. Move your pikemen up to the position. They move 4, so it'll take them 2. But if you move them up, they can unearth them and leave and create an opening for you. But no, you got to measure. You got games. Yeah.
Sorry.
These aren't. Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
So
you count each.
Different question. I think I'm about to ask. Because the cavalry's already there, how am I going to get them to be in the position where they can get to? Or
They can move. They can move through. This is the scale is, it's not very precise, so you don't have to worry about that. There's no stacking issues or anything per se. So at least
it looks like they can make it to right in front of the cavalry. Am I right?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that's not an issue. But here you can use this as a marker, or you can set them to. They should be set to measure movement, but for some reason that doesn't seem to be working. Sometimes you got to click on and click off.
They right there, which is where I wanted them.
4 inches. Right? 4 inches. 1, 2,
4. I gotcha.
Yeah. So right behind this quarter.
Okay.
See the.
I did take quarter with it.
It's a good balancing act.
That was really good. Okay.
There you go. So there, that's fine. You don't alter precision isn't necessary, but you have to at least, in the spirit of it, try to maintain the. Where are you going with it?
It was right there.
Oh, okay.
It just couldn't be there before it was on top.
So there you go.
Yeah, right about there. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to do the same thing on the other side here.
Okay. So while you're doing that, yeah, we're just starting this up, so it's very difficult. People are very, having patience is a virtue, but hopefully we'll get into the rhythm of things, and people find it more interesting to stay than to log on and leave. Uh, but one thing I have had trouble with is OBS and getting a, the conversation thing going. And as nobody watches from time to time, I don't get a lot of people to comment even when they do watch. I would love to have more comments and discussions from people, but I don't have the OBS in such a way where it can be showed to me on the screen. So if you're trying to discuss things and you want to talk, um, I'll check from time to time. Please, again, patience. So and know that that I'm having drawn a blank. Twitter doesn't allow communication unless you own the blue check mark, which is really, I'm sure that makes people upset. I don't like it either, but that's their decision and their platform. So if you're trying to watch us on Twitter and you want to comment, that's why it doesn't work. If you're thinking, hey man, why can't I type some deal? I broadcast to Twitter anyway, in hopes that it'll notify people that I am live on other platforms and they can come and communicate, which would make everything much funner if we would be able to talk with some people. So, okay. So, all right, Robin, have you? Oops, sorry, Magenta. Have you done your thing? Do you feel like you've
I've
completed?
moved my people. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, you sound good. You haven't been breaking up, um, so that's good. There is still a noise, which is okay. It's not just for your own personal diagnostic information. It isn't harming anything or bothering anybody, but I do hear things. And I was going to say um, that it's kind of funny to me that it sounds like an old Atari when you turn on the Atari without a cartridge in. So that must be something that is. Um,
Okay, you caught me. I'm playing Atari over here.
if you were playing Atari, I would probably be asking if I can come over and play with you. I love me some Atari to this day. So, but
Reminds me of that scene in the Avengers. That man is playing Atari.
yeah, he was.
Wait, what game was it he was playing?
I think it was Galaga that he had on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah, yeah. Fun, fun, fun. So, tabletop simulator is a tabletop simulator. Everything that occurs on tabletop, a real tabletop, will occur here, including moving your stuff. I don't know. I like that. I I miss the days of being down in my basement with my 12 by 8 table and my miniatures and 3 or 4 friends doing this sort of thing. And even in the days of Atari, we loved to play Atari. And I had some friends who would, even the ones that really preferred Atari, we would still play the tabletop for a while, and then we'd go play this. But the mainstay of entertainment was the giant miniatures board, and I really miss that. So I enjoy having this system. Um, but yeah, it's not if you're the you know instant gratification wasn't really a thing. Like I remember when I bought Zaxxon. I got Zaxxon, and I thought it was probably, if I remember right, it was probably the first. I don't know if that's true, but it was one of the first games that I had on any home computer that that was an emulation of an arcade game that was in the. How do you grab a hold? Okay, so it took about 45 minutes to load. It was a cassette tape. It wasn't a disc or a cartridge. It was a cassette tape. And it took about 45 minutes. And it would make this god awful screeching the whole time it was loading. So talk about having to be patient. So we would load that thing up and then go play on the tabletop. Um, just to wait for the computer to load. Have I moved these twice? I'm too busy chatting away trying to. I haven't moved these twice. You don't even know. Okay.
I don't know.
So anyway, I think now that I think about it, maybe we have. If I cheated, my apologies. I was told rule number one of streaming is don't leave dead air. Always talk. And you'd be surprised, especially for someone who enjoys conversation, how hard that is if you don't have anybody talking back to you or with you.
Is that your way of telling me I need to be quiet?
A little bit. But it's
No,
also
sorry about that.
it's also kind of a hint to anybody who may be watching, have something to say. It's okay. Don't be shy. We enjoy a little commentary, question, conversation as we're doing this. So um, that would be great. Anyway,
Yeah. Wanted to bring up, I showed my grandson this tabletop simulator, and he was very excited. He likes the way the models move and look. He especially liked your big giant over there.
mm-hmm. So, yep, I like VTTs, and the the people. I see a lot of people. You know, I was talking about this earlier. I Some people like it's how do you say it? I don't know how to say it, but anyway, they don't seem too thrilled with them. And here's the thing. And Magenta is a great example of this. Uh, well, I'll tell you what I saw Magenta while I'm doing this. Here I can move it over. The Vin Diesel. There was a video today on social media. Whoops, shoot. There was a video on. It was 2 minutes of Vin Diesel. And he was talking one of these, behind the scenes actor type of thing, whatever. He was being interviewed, and he was talking about being a big D&D player as a kid. Now, Vin Diesel is about my age, and so while he was giving this conversation, he was saying, it was brought up by the interviewer, and that's why some D&D fan had captured it so we could hear him talk about D&D. And he said, "Hey, you were a big D&D player. Why is that? Tell us about it." And he said, basically, uh, it was just imaginative, fun. It was, and then he got into, well, it was the 70s, blah blah blah, and we didn't have. This is way before video games, and the very attention and factoid orientated way that I am, I said, well, that's not strictly true. There was there's a long history of video games. I'm also a big if you people don't know, I'm also a big retro gaming fan. So he's not really true. I know what he's saying, and there's a lot of Magenta's roughly the same age, so she can attest to the idea of playing outside. Not video games were not really a thing in that you didn't was there an arcade? Maybe. I remember like some of the first games I saw were black and white upright arcade games. They weren't in an arcade. They were some novelty that was stuffed in the lobby of a hotel as an attraction. It wasn't until some years later that the arcade thing became real booming. But Atari came in 1977. So, but his idea was is that this is what we did when we didn't have a screen to go to. And I get what he's saying. I remember too that by the way, while here I am trying to keep conversation. It is your move. I've made the move. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Mr. Chat. I went from no chatty to too chatty. Sorry. So,
That's okay.
But as she's moving, do you have any questions, comments, criticisms? Anybody? Magenta, how do you feel about it? Do you need some help?
No, I think I got it.
Okay. So, all right, to be a little less long-winded about it, he was just talking about that. And I said, I know what he's talking about. It wasn't your go-to thing. It wasn't prominent in every household. Even in 77, it was kind of a novelty, although Atari did kind of break the mold as being a mass-produced, somewhat less expensive system. Home video. What the hell? Why did that come flying here? Did you pick that up?
I don't remember picking that up, but it's possible.
No, like some ghost just moved it.
That's really crazy.
I don't know what that's about. I've never had that happen before. So, well, anyway, but it kind of did open the thing up. So, but Magenta grew up in an area that was, well, without getting too deep into the cultural issues, but those were there too. In fact, I want to talk about, but anyway, people who seem very averted to VTT seem to not conceptualize the idea that not everybody lives next door to one another. And these systems allow people that can't otherwise find a game, find one. If you're one of the people whom have claimed that, well, I've played with my friends for years or decades. There's a couple of games that people say have been going on for 40 years and all that. You're an extreme exception. And that's great. You're very lucky. There's people who are streamers who have the same core 8 guys or gals or friends or whatever. And they said, we've been playing since high school. We've known each other forever. I mean, the obvious is people move around. That's that's one thing. So you can lose your. Go ahead. I can hear you wanting to. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say that's true. My dad was in the Navy, which made things a little harder too to find people to play games with. That I didn't have a core group of friends I grew up with all through grade school all the way to high school. I went to 13 different schools in 12 years of regular primary education.
Right. And this what is now referred to as the satanic panic, which is somewhat, there's a whole thing, but there's some of that involved. You don't, when you meet people, you usually don't open with D&D. There's a whole thing about that. So it just wasn't so easy for some people to get around, and some of my pals were jocks. They weren't nerds. They weren't into that sort of thing. I couldn't get my closest neighbor when I was very young would play, and it wasn't all sports, but he often would, he'd play a little bit of something, like he'd go play outside and we'd play, soldier, fire our cap guns and or something like that. But then the next day, or just a little bit later in the afternoon, he was a jock, so he wanted to go pitch the ball around, or shoot balls on goal or something like that.
Yeah. Hey, I want to. Sorry to interrupt, but I want to clarify. So I moved my troops over here.
Mhm.
I moved my halberdiers over to where this barrier is.
Right.
Do they have to wait another turn before they can remove it?
Yes.
Okay. Then I also wanted to move this crew here on this artillery.
Uh-huh.
How far can it move?
Why are they all backwards?
This one right here.
They can move. They can be manhandled an inch at a time. I know, but remember, they have a much longer range. So, and a range that you don't have to worry about the facing. That's a mistake on my part. Mr. Brainiac put them on ass backwards. But anyway, the bottom line is that not everybody had access to players right around the corner, even in the heyday of RPG. Not everybody was able to go to every convention available either. There are myriad.
Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry. One more question. I have a wizard here.
Yes.
Excuse me. And what's his range? Like, where is my wizard?
Your wizard.
How did I lose him?
Maybe he cast invisibility. He's right here.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm blind. That's all. So there he is. What kind of range does he have?
Depends on the spell. All the spells have different ranges. They have short, medium, long, or touch in some cases. So depending on what you want to cast, they will have a range on them in the list of their in their description.
Well, how far can the wizard move?
6 inches. Individuals, infantry move at 4 inches, but that's to represent being in a formation and maintaining their integrity and all that. If you can move 6 as an individual. So this, just trying to kill time while we play. But the bottom line is, the VTT is a tool. This one is one of the nicer ones because if you notice too, this is the part I never got about this. When we were sitting playing on tables such as this one looked very similar to mine in that we would use a kind of outdoor carpeting, a green indoor-outdoor carpeting that we would nail or glue to plywood. And that would be the base, and then we'd put everything on top of that. And as we're playing, it was fun, and we were enjoying it. But the idea that one of the attractions to the video games was it wasn't one sense. Now you had 2 senses, or in effect, if you really got into it, 3, in that you had touch because you had a hold of the control. You had the sight and the sounds that came with a video game. In the late 70s, early 80s, graphics were fairly. I hear you. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The graphics were somewhat in their infancy, and miniatures boards looked better, and you could do more with them, and you weren't bound by memory limitations. That goes for today. You're only bound by your imagination. Well, to be fair, you're also bound by your pocketbook. But anyway, we sat and dreamed of and what if we could get a way to make these things make noise? What if we had we thought about taping cap guns, just getting an old audio tape recorder, going out into the yard and firing after cap guns and recording it. And then we thought if we could find a way to, so basically we were dreaming up a soundboard. And now you have things like that on VTTs. So it's a far more immersive experience and than just even playing on a normal board. And you have the advantage of being able to play with friends at a distance that you wouldn't be able to economically or feasibly in a time cover. So it opens up the world to being potential opponents. And this sure, like, if think of the money, if these were real, think of the money that would be sitting on your table right now. And for $20, I'm playing with it. And look, they're even, some of them are even animated. Go ahead.
I'm thinking about how we'd have to tear it all down just to put food on the table to eat when it was time to eat, and wouldn't get to playing. You'd have to keep taking it down, setting it up, take it down, setting it up.
Mm-hmm.
This you can save and come back to it later when you need to. If you have to, stop and have snacks or whatever you want to do.
Right.
It's kind of convenient.
Yeah. So it solves a lot of problems. You have notebooks and all this sort of stuff, Just in general, computers. The larger discussion that I was having was people were acting kind of like Luddites, like, well, the true, I just need a steno pad and some graph paper, because a lot of times we were doing that. But on the same token, people that make those comments are also often commenting about how the game takes too much time, or all sorts of different issues about inconvenience and complexity. And when I got access to a laptop, I immediately saw it as means of facilitating the game. And when I say facilitating, I guess what I mean is expediting the game more. People who I'm just okay. Go ahead.
Can I share my screen? Okay.
I mean, technically. Hold on, I got to hit mine stop first, though.
Oh, okay.
It might really take the wind out of your connection, but okay.
Okay. That should be the one.
So the other thing is, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Still working. The other thing is that I just like to take it easy. Is it moving super fast? Yeah, no, but you're chatting, you're being social, So why are we? What are we? Is there something you want to share or something? Is there?
There was, but it won't let me do it.
Why not? Do you know how to do it? You got to.
I've selected the screen. Then what?
So you select this. First of all, select entire screen, not window or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Then down at the bottom, it may give you the option of also share tab audio, and it's likely going to be clicked off. If you click it to the right, it'll turn blue. Then hit the share button, and that should turn it on. You also need to go up to the top above those markings or those icons, and up on the top you'll see, or you should, at least I do, background audio, solo, duo, and presentation. If you click presentation, that's also a requirement.
Well, it's not giving me the share button, and I'm not sure why.
Maybe I have to give you some sort of permissions. I didn't anticipate the need to do this, so I didn't investigate whether I would have to do that or not. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
well, I tell you what, just never mind then.
Here we
Go
go.
ahead.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we
Mm,
go. Try now.
okay.
I've promoted you to moderator. I'm assuming that's going to allow that, but it's an assumption. So, nope. She went bye bye. Okay. Now you're mute. Your mic is muted again because you hit the you have to unmute your mic again. I don't believe it's working. So anyway, your mic is muted.
About that.
There you
Sorry.
go.
Okay.
No?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. There we go. Now it's my screen you guys can see.
I can't see it. I don't know if anybody can.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
Was there a question you had or any reason why you were doing it?
Never mind. I'm just going to abandon the attempt. It's not working.
Okay.
Go ahead and share your screen again. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Okay. Okay, let's get into some action. You're you can it's your turn. You can remove the have you made it? You can take this out. There you go. Go ahead. What? So, this just to me, and you can do, a lot of people when they see this one, they go, "Well, what about the other ones?" I don't know. I've attempted to use Owlbear Rodeo and found it quirky and somewhat difficult. Yes, not everything is perfect with tabletop. You get that sort of thing going on too. But like I said, it's just like every other um, tabletop situation. So, but I played a D&D game with Owlbear Rodeo. I didn't like it. You don't have to try to squeeze those in. We can just don't wreck everything just to it's not necessary. We know they're at the top. You don't have to here, I'll help you. So okay. So whatever. The downside granted to computers is that they tend to be finicky. And you know, so you have that problem. But I never liked the idea of, I looked at some of these where you have to pay monthly. Some of them where you have to make it's pretty expensive, and then you have to buy the rule books on top of it, and then you have to buy the art to import it, and um, none of them are perfect. All of them can provide some frustration in that it doesn't work right, or this isn't designed well, or whatever. So, and I guess that's where people go, well, it's just easy to use some paper, but I don't know. I had a Tandy 800 computer. I think I mentioned that, and I looked at the prices of the. Are you done? Is that your entirety, or like? Are you there? Ugh, shit.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
Are you done?
Yeah, no, that was my entire turn.
Okay. So I looked at. Apparently, we started a little too far back. I just didn't want to start in your face because I wanted to show the. But in retrospect,
Well, you want to just move everything up so that we have a
well,
little more exciting way and
we're there now. We're there now. So,
okay, gotcha.
but yeah, I love these things. I don't know.
I have a question, game related.
Yeah.
So these guys over here, I mean, obviously you're moving your soldiers down, but these guys I have over here, they're going to be my next move, obviously. Um, do I have to move one through and then the other set through, or can they both go through this gap? We just assume that they're going to file in there and then spread out on the other side. Do you get what I'm asking?
Yeah, just they can. You don't have to.
I don't have to move one through and wait a turn to move the next one through. Is that what you're saying?
When you say group, help me out.
So okay. These horsemen here, these cavalry.
You mean these two groups? Is that what you're trying to say? These two things?
The ones where I already moved the fence here. And I have a group of cavalry with spears, and then I have regular cavalry. Well, actually, they're knights, but what I'm saying is there's one section of fence removed. They can both go through it and then go to the other side and side by side on the other side like they are now.
No, they would come out in a column, one
I
behind
see.
the other.
Okay.
So
While you're moving your troops, I'm going to refill my drink and be right back with you. I won't be long.
So, anywho, what I've come to determine is that I appear to be somewhat unique amongst people of my age. I started playing these kind of games uh, at a pretty young age, in the mid 70s. Um, don't have the aversion or whatever it is about tabletop simulator type of things, VTTs, if you will. Don't really get why that's such a big deal. They seem like, I've always had a computer type of um, use spreadsheets and things like that. They just make things easier. Instead of banging my head against the wall to figure out how to avoid something, like Jim Dunnigan talked about math anxiety and stuff like that. It's just easier to use the tools that were being developed. It gave me the opportunity to to expand. I'm not a big instructions reader. So it gave me an opportunity to kind of play around with computers and learn them a little bit, learn by doing. Um, things it just made things uh, so easier, and you could do more with it instead of having to walk around with a trapper keeper of notes uh, that would fade or crumple or rip or could have soda spilled on them. Of course, you could spill soda on your computer and you really get your behind hand by your parents. But um, steno notebook paper was a lot cheaper than buying character sheets and stuff like that from TSR. I I never had a lot of money, and I just it was just a more economical thing. Plus, if you go, well, those I've had people that were like connoisseurs of character sheets, like, well, these aren't designed all that. Well, with a computer, you can design your own, and then you can set them up in whatever arrangement you want, which worked a lot better for me. So uh, that was that was great, and you could. Most people don't like this, and they still don't, and I get it with the rolling of the dice, but you could have it generate a random number. Now, big time experts will give you a whole lecture as to why computer random numbers and all this. I didn't know that. I just thought it was cool. The thing was like, okay, I'll just tell you. So, um, so yeah, maybe it wasn't the most random thing. And most people did go, I don't want to use that. I like dice. I like rolling them. So that wasn't really the biggest issue, but it still did really make things. So. Uh, to be fair, this isn't without setup. You know, we talked about how these games are, these computers just help with setup. That's true. But Tabletop Simulator does facilitate a lot of interesting things. Um, but you still have to set up the table just like it was a manual table. But one of the things that really got me to love this was being able to fulfill that imaginative idea, or what if these things made noise? What if we could get little ones that walked? I mean, they won't walk across the board, but there are fully animated miniatures here that make noises and stuff like that. And it just, to me, that's nostalgic, because I always think of me and my friends just kind of looking at that as a possibility. So everybody's got a taste, and I don't know, but for me, I'll never understand why there's such an aversion to it.
I
I
have
have
returned.
returned.
I'm
I'm
sorry for
sorry
the
for the
delay.
delay.
All right. I never minded starting a little further back. And I know people are like, oh, ho hum, all we're doing is watching you move stuff and all that. I get it. And I wasn't really I guess I should have thought about it a little bit deeper. But I like the idea of being able to do a little maneuver. You know, if you start face to face so that the action can happen right away, well, the action's somewhat predeterminate, because uh, wherever you're hitting the line, wherever you're placed, maybe that wasn't the best place to be. Maybe you want to, kind of probe and find that weak spot or something like that. So, um, but the other thing I've never understood is if you're one for impatience, if these games seem they play too long, if they don't develop fast enough to maintain your interest, and I mean, you, whoever you are, I always say you, and people go, "Are you talking to me?" No, but I mean, I've had this conversation with people where they go, "Well, these things are so long and blah blah blah." Okay, why aren't you sitting in front of the computer then? All your complaints, all the problems you have with these games are solved if you play PC, play it or something like that. Why isn't that brought up? So I don't. That's one thing. To me, that was the other thing. There was a problem with some of these being complicated or requiring a lot of record keeping, pencil pushing and stuff like that, and the computer fixed that. That's what I like. So don't know. But completely up to you. Wait, am I got this thing set? I do, like an idiot. Well, kids. Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
So
So
you're
you're
moving all
moving
of
all
your
of your
guys
guys
forward,
forward,
and
and
then
then
when you're
when you're
done, you'll
done,
let
you'll
me
let
know
me
when
know when
it's my
it's my
turn.
turn. Are you losing? Is this moving too slow for you? The idea was to make this a fast and fun game, but it may
Wait
be.
a
Wait a
minute.
minute. What?
Are they
Are they
like
like
breathing in
breathing
the
in the
trees
trees
over
over
there?
there?
What the
What the
heck?
heck? Let me know. We can go back to the drawing board if this is not the captivating, easy game that, you know, you're the newbie, so you have to kind of
Oh
gauge.
no,
Oh, no,
no.
no.
I
I
was
was
just
just
trying
trying
to
to
um
um,
figure out
figure
where
out where
these
these
extra
extra
goblins are
goblins are
coming
coming
and
and
orcs are
orcs are
coming
coming
from.
from. Yep.
Are there
Are
going
there
to
going
be
to be
more of
more
them?
of them? Yep.
Uh-oh.
So for the people that go,
Be in
well, see,
trouble.
this is all fiddly and hard to deal with. I played with things like Owl Bear Rodeo and had to keep reinstalling and refreshing the page, and it had its own set of issues. Uh, I've also used Roll20 and just I'm not made of money, and you seem to have to be you have to have a pretty steady cash flow to invest in. Um, it's neat if you're an artist, I suppose. You can make these little these little yeah. There's more coming, Magenta. To answer your question, are they spawning? Yes, it's a big army that's coming out of the woods.
Okay.
Yes, um, but yeah, you kind of had to pay for everything. Okay, you've got this free system, but and I don't behoove people trying to make money off of it, or there's a lot of neat artists and stuff, but I just I can't. I don't have that kind of money. Just period. So I don't know. And then some of them. Now I've gotten a slightly better machine, But there was a couple of them. I think that Forge or whatever. I said, shit, this isn't even a game. It's a tool, and I don't have enough memory for it. And I thought, if I'm going to get graphics where, I need pixel shaders and all that, to me, that's when I should just go and get the game. Go play Baldur's Gate or something. So I think it all ends up being a matter of taste. And I prefer this, but I appear to be the minority. I don't know. So we'll see.
Well, I'm
Well,
just
I'm just
starting off, but I'm finding it
finding it
very
very
interesting and
interesting and
fascinating,
fascinating,
and
and
definitely
definitely
anxious to
anxious to
get
get
into the
into the
battle
battle
here
here
because
because
I want
I
to
want
see
to
how
see how
that
that
part
part
goes.
goes.
Is
Is
there a
there a
way,
way,
like,
like,
can
can
you?
you?
Because I
Because I
noticed you're
noticed
like
you're like
moving up
moving up
these
these
units with
units
the
with the
orange
orange
and
and
gray base
base
characters in
characters in
front.
front.
You're like
You're like
moving
moving
the
up the
set.
set.
You're
You're
moving like
moving like
the first
ones
ones up
up
and then
and
moving
then
the
the
others
others
behind
behind
them.
them.
Can you
Can you
like
like
measure the
measure the
distance and
distance
like
and like
group
group
them all
them all
together and
together
move
and
them
move
all
them all
simultaneously?
simultaneously?
Are you
Are you
still
still
there?
there?
I'm not really sure what you're. I'm sorry.
Here,
Here,
let me
let me
just show
just show
you
you
an
an
example.
example.
No, no.
No,
No,
okay.
Hold on. I'm having a little. No, I haven't. Let's see. 1 second. Bear with me. So, yeah, to answer your question, think of it this way. Can you do what Magenta's asking? Yes. But again, Tabletop Simulator is the most apropos named thing. If you tried to pick these three things up in your hand and move them all at the same time, like these were actual physical objects, where the miniature isn't adhered to the base, they're simply stood on the base end to end. And they're about an inch by inch in base, and maybe an inch, inch and a half high. And they're not, and the bases aren't adhered either. So you're picking these three things up in one hand and trying to move them. Will it work? Sort of. The propensity for them to shift, fall, or is just as high as it would be if you tried to juggle that all of that into one hand. So, can you get ones where they're three deep and that wide and all that? Yes. But what I tried to do with this game is minimize markers. And if you have a big formation like that that's put together, you might need more markers to indicate damage and attrition. Whereas here, if they're very loosely based, if they're not adhered on some big stand, they can be removed like a chess piece to indicate attrition instead of a bunch of markers and stuff like that. And that's what I was going for. And that's why these are separate. Though the drawback, yes, is that it becomes seemingly tedious to move them around. So it's not the only way to do it, given the desire by most for whatever. We can provide markers uh, to fix that situation. But just if you're not into miniature gaming, the more adherence, the more basing, the more glue or cement that you use, what should be obvious is that you're in a state of permanency. Whereas if you don't do that, you have more flexibility to, like if you have tanks and you glue the turret to the hull of the tank, then the turret will never turn, and you'll have to store the tank in a way that won't crush that barrel. And, and but if you don't, then you can store the turret separately in a place that would preserve it. So is any of this making sense? Are you there? You're not there.
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. So that was the thinking.
Well, and I get what you're saying because last night when we were setting up for this and I was putting my troops on the board, I misunderstood the assignment, and I had them all facing the wrong direction. So I picked the whole entire army up and moved them, and some of them did fall off the bases.
Mm-hmm. It's a system that it actually tries to simulate gravity, and so that may be something that some people don't consider.
Hey, what happened to your tabletop?
It's coming back. I'm just
Okay.
There's a lot of people that said, "Hey, I'm going to join up. I'm going to watch." Maybe they got the time wrong. I don't know. But yeah, it simulates friction, gravity, and all that sort of stuff. That's why you can have actual, which is neat until we're doing things like moving a lot of shit around. Pardon my French. Then it becomes something where that may be why people are not happy with it. Some people aren't. Because it brings all the joy and reality of tangible miniatures, but it also brings all the I can't get my toy soldier to stand up on the slope issues, stuff like that. So there's ways to work around that too. But anywho, basically, what I'll do from now, just to expedite things, and was a trick that we used, was to use the quarter or a tiddlywink or a checker or something like that, and use that, to measure the distance, and then just move everything. Do you understand? Does that make any sense?
I think so.
Anyway, so. Okay. All right, go ahead. Or do you want to just wait and I'll move them up one more and then we'll be ready, or what do you want to do? I don't like to put people right in contact because it leaves the ability to maneuver and think about flanking or envelopment. It just takes that out of it. Then what you're doing is you're just setting a bunch of stuff up that are and throwing dice. It ends up becoming craps with miniatures because they're already engaged, and it's just going, okay, I'm just going to shoot at these guys. All right, well, so the drawback is it takes a little bit longer to play. The bonus is it's actually a war game with maneuver and combined arms, and not just, at that point you might as well just hurl the dice at them.
I'm okay with that, but are you? Did you say you were done with your turn,
Yeah.
or were you
Go ahead. Yep. You go ahead. Go ahead. Your
Oh,
turn.
okay. How far can my cavalry move?
10 inches. Make sure your measurement, if you're going, well, you can use that too. Yeah. Nothing. You want me to move that over?
Okay. And
Okie dokie.
okay, now range for my archers.
10 inches.
And they can move 4.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
If you want to put them up against that thing and say they're up against that thing, you don't have to physically do it because it'll just
I got him.
cause issues. So, hello.
Hello. I'm moving my wizard forward. You said he could move 4 too, right?
6.
Oh, that's right.
So streaming on YouTube is like network TV. You're competing against you're competing against everybody else, and if you're the new show and there's a popular, you know, and there is.
Yep.
Uh,
Oops.
Oh boy.
These guys fell off. I see what you mean about not trying to do a whole group like that, but I just have to move these guys real quick.
What are you doing?
Just give me a second.
Okay. Well, not quite sure.
I'm not quite sure. I was trying to move these guys, but it won't let me select these guys here. Are they locked or something?
Yeah, they were.
How'd they get locked?
I don't know. Like I say, computers, there's just sometimes things aren't, you know. But you're not going to get them out of your life, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. What are you trying to achieve? Maybe I can help.
I'm just moving everything forward.
Okay. Well, don't worry about rushing. It's okay. It doesn't matter if it takes too long, unless you're, you know.
I'm okay. What the heck?
What is there a problem again that I can?
I can't make him go where I want him.
Who? What?
There he goes.
Yikes. So anyway, I was much as I loved miniature games, I was never much of a miniature painter. Um, that's another thing I love about this. They're all done for me. I don't have to paint. I don't have to pay for, or that'll never stand on that crease. You don't have to worry about that. Just like I say, don't put it on a crease. It'll just do it. Yeah, there you go. Oh,
You mean
You
like
mean
right
like right
here?
here?
no, no, no.
I
I
can't
can't
see where
see
I'm
where I'm
putting it.
putting
I'm
it. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
So just here, let go. Come on.
I want to do it. I want
I
to
want
do
to
it.
do it.
What did she do? What are you doing? I can't. I don't. Just let me do it. Where's the one that went away? You threw like you moved one really far away. Why? Okay, there you go. One of the things that helps, um, oops, make them move more naturally for you is if you take off grid. Oh, I know why you have that on. You don't like that. Okay, I understand. Nothing. Never mind. My mistake. Sorry. Okay. I'm not sure why you're not getting a shadow. Maybe if you usually what there is there's a shadow that's produced by what you're picking up, and you can judge where it's going to land by reading that shadow. If you're not seeing the shadow, your video options may be sent to can be changed to show that shadow.
No, I
No,
know
I
what
know
I
what
was
I was
doing.
doing.
I had
I
a
had a
point of
point
view
of
that
view
was
that was
almost
almost
90
90
degrees.
degrees.
You
You
can't see
can't
the
see the
shadow
shadow
because
because
it's
it's
directly
directly
under
under
you.
you.
Ah, okay.
Oh, by
Oh,
the
by
way,
the
I've
way, I've
completed my
completed my
turn now.
turn now.
So, are you? What do you feel about it? Give us your genuine appraisal of it so far.
Well,
Well,
so
so
far I
far I
like it.
like it.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
waiting to
waiting to
see how
see
the
how the
battle
battle
itself
itself
goes, the
goes, the
actual
actual
attack.
attack.
Okay. Well, what do you like so far? Let's hear it. Because it seems like I'm just, we'll see. Huh? What's the thing that stands out as being liked right now for you? Oh, she appears to be gone. Another reason that I'm not big on the whole basing and super straight line thing with all these guys is I get it's fantasy, so you get those people who go, realism doesn't matter, it's fantasy. Well, I think there's a little bit of an argument for that too, but because it's not strictly true. But uh, people who have taken a look into this type of warfare, fantasy warfare tends to emulate real world ancient with blocks and formations and stuff like that. And when you see paintings of like Napoleonic battles and everything, or old movies of it, like the Rod Steiger, and everybody's in a square, and they're they look like they're marching on a parade field. There's been people that have gone out and tried to emulate that with, granted, well, not as many people, but just 100, and even with a smaller amount, like 100, that ain't that's it doesn't work like that. So these it's your best attempt to to maintain some semblance of the formation that you're striving for, but on the battlefield they look a lot more like mobs in reality, and because you just can't maintain that, there's too many undulations and things on the ground for that to be ideal. So to me, it's a lot easier, a lot less expensive to just keep them off of bases and move them in a way that kind of makes them a little more mob like. And it ends up being, according to the tests, a little bit more realistic in the end run anyway. So
Well,
Well,
I'm a
I'm a
bit,
bit
for
for
me to
me to
know what
know what
I'm
I'm
dealing
dealing
with,
with.
I like
I like
having them
having
on the
them on the
bases so
bases
I
so
can
I
look
can
at a
look at a
base and
base
go,
and go,
"That's
that's
5,"
five,
you know,
you know,
instantly.
instantly.
It
It
helps me a
helps me
little
a
bit,
little bit.
but
But
mainly it's
mainly it's
because I'm a
because I'm
bit
a bit
autistic,
autistic.
so
So
there's
there's
that.
that.
So, well, just in the interest of getting things a little speeded up, like she asked, we'll just kind of wing it. Okay.
Okay. This guy's bad news over here. This big. So I kind of want to attack him. But I'm not sure. Excuse me. This is where, as a new player, I'm going to ask for like a rules explanation. So the first thing I want to do is deal with this big orc giant. But I have a feeling he's going to have a lot of hit points. Going to be invulnerable to a lot of types of attack. So I just want a guideline. Like if I were to attack him with my flaming arrows, is he in range right now to do that?
I believe he is.
Okay. And if this entire unit here fires on him, this is 10 archers.
Let's find out, though. I'm just saying I believe, and I could be a liar because I believe I could fly, and I'm wrong. So let's just see. Nope, he's not quite there yet. Bummer.
Okay. So if I take these cavalry after him, they're in range, right? They can go 10, you said, or
that's correct. They can go 10.
Oh, they're not in range then.
Should I say it's Sesame Street style?
No.
Okay. But Sesame Street style. Will you say it's Sesame Street style?
What's the range for the archers again?
10. Maybe if I said it Sesame Street style, it would... You get it.
Can we change the range for the archers? Like can my druid put a spell on them and make them fire farther or something?
He can if he does the Sesame Street pinball thing all the way through.
God. I don't think he has that spell.
He should conjure up a pinball machine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay. Where? How far can this giant guy move?
Boop, boop. Sorry. Once I start, you got to go. You can't half-ass that. So, take my.
How far can the giant move?
The giant can move 10.
Okay. Well, then we're going to leave everything as it is. I'm not going to put my guys in range of the giant because that would be kind of like the same mistake we made when. Never mind. I won't get into that. Okay. It's my own personal philosophy. If you know you're gonna, if you know your enemy has a overwhelming weapon that can decimate you, destroy you, but he's out of range, don't go into range. Right.
That's I mean, if those are words you live by,
I believe in this as a principle. I mean, you can go into range long enough to launch like a sneak attack and then withdraw, but you don't like camp out like right next to his weapon of mass destruction. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if he can't get it to you, then you don't have to put yourself in range of it, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I am gonna, however, tag something. Now these guys here have axes, correct? Hmm.
Did you just ask me a question?
I asked you if they had axes, and can they throw them?
Who has
These
axes?
boys right here. The ones right here.
Oh, the boys. When you said boys, you meant the boys.
The boys. That's right.
Yeah. They do not. I don't believe that they have access. I think that there's another thing for everybody. I've gone to a table at a friendly neighborhood. Well, it ended up being not that friendly, but a friendly neighborhood local game store to play some games and had people do all that hardcore with me. Whatever's on the model is what's really on the model type of thing. Now, if you're playing some sort of sanctioned event or high profile thing and you want maximum, you know, and that's what the argument of the owner was. Well, I'm trying to sell this product and it's got to look good and you can't play that shit, which I thought was a little too hardcore. But anyway, long story short, I'm not down with that. Feel free in these rules to go either direction you want. I mean, if that's how you roll, that's fine. But it's not necessary. Although it is possible, because as we're looking here, let's just give everybody a look. These are not. If you purchase this thing, um, it ain't gonna look like this. This is something that I used as a kind of a beta or alpha or whatever, one of those types of rough draft things. And I made it.
Maybe you should show one of the orcs we're talking about while, because your screen is just showing like some words on it right now.
Well, I am. I'm trying to show the words so.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, and it looks like type because I'm weird and I like to be like live in the old world. And if it was something that these rules were meant to be representative of the kind of thing that I played at friendly local gaming stores back in the late 70s, early 80s, and they would be hand typed or mimeographed F a hand type. So I made them look like typewriter. Do they look like typewriter to me? To you?
Yeah.
Are you just saying that so I'll shut up, or do they really look like?
No, they really do.
Sometimes she'll say stuff just to shut me up. Okay. So the point is
the most common one of those is when I just say, "Hey, shut up."
Well, fair enough. But yeah, the point is that if you wanted them to have axes, if the model really did have axe and that's how you want to play it out, go and find it. Ranged attack up to 7 inches, not including there's all sorts of different ways. Range attack 7 inches or over. If you think they can throw that far or whatever, so tough hide shield. This shows you all the different things that you can pick or assign to units to create custom units, or to go, I want this model and everything it's carrying to be in the game. How do I do that? Go to this part and price it out. Okie doke. Makes sense. Good stuff.
It does make sense. My next question though is, what do these guys have? Because I'm about to attack them, so I kind of want to know.
They have axes. Can't you see?
Okay, but okay, so they can throw them.
Sure. They could throw them, yes. It's possible they might throw them if they're a throwing axe.
Oh,
Oh,
is this
is
your
this
way
your
of
way of
telling
telling
me
me
I
I
shouldn't
shouldn't
ask
ask
because,
because, you know,
my
my
guys
guys
wouldn't
wouldn't
have
have
any
any
way of
way of
knowing
knowing
unless I
unless I
had a
had a
man on
man
the
on the
inside of
inside
the
of the
orc
orc
army?
army?
Word to your mama.
Well, I
Well, I
probably
probably
could have
could
a
have a
guy on the
guy on the
inside of the
inside of the
orc
orc
army, but
army, but
he'd be
he'd be
inside one
inside
of
one
their
of their
stomachs,
stomachs,
so
so
probably
probably
wouldn't tell
wouldn't
me
tell me
much.
much.
So,
So,
okay,
okay.
So you're saying you're
guess
sending
that's a
halflings
yes.
for spies?
Well, I
I
didn't
didn't
do it.
do it.
They were
They were
already
already
there.
there.
Okay.
Okay.
So what
So
I'm
what I'm
gonna
gonna
do
do
then?
then?
mm,
mm,
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm trying
I'm
to
trying to
decide on
decide
my
on my
approach
approach
for my
for my
attack.
attack.
So
So
if
if
I
I
charge
charge
as
as
cavalry,
cavalry,
can I
can I
just
just
charge
charge
these
these
guys right
guys
here?
right here?
Yeah.
Or
Or
actually, do
actually,
I
do I
really want
really
to
want to
charge?
charge? Would be
Honestly,
honestly
these
these
guys.
guys.
But
But
they are
they are
out of
out of
range.
range.
Right.
Okay,
Okay,
gotcha.
gotcha.
Boy,
Boy,
looks
looks
good
good
to
to
see
see
them,
them,
can't
can't
they?
they?
Yeah, and to be fair, as much as I laud this system as being awesome, and it is, the whole measurement thing, it's a little bit, it's not very precise. So, and I think that's why people made sticks to try to make it a little bit more precise. But yeah, it's not. So it can be a little tricky that way. But it's better than playing alone or not playing at all.
Well,
Well,
what I
what I
want to
want to
do
do
next
next
is
is
move
move
these
these
guys
guys
over
over
next to
next to
these
these
guys so
guys
I
so I
can
can
kind of have a
have a
flanking
flanking
maneuver. Does
maneuver.
that
Does
make
that make
sense?
sense? Like
I want
I
to
want to
basically
basically
move
move
these
these
guys
guys
here.
here.
Well, yeah, you have to move them. First, you have to move the ones ahead of them.
Oh, oh.
That's all right. Just go ahead. At this point, but that's not really how it should be going down. But that's okay. Just in so we can keep going, we'll go ahead and do it. I believe I can fly. Let's see if anybody's actually here. No. So, Is there anything I can help you with? You sound like you're out of pay. Like, are you all right?
Huh?
Huh?
Oh,
Oh,
just
just
breathing.
breathing.
Hmm. What you're thinking? What are you doing? Explain to the folks at home.
Ah,
Ah,
apparently I'm
apparently I'm
stacking
stacking
people on
people on
top of
top
each
of each
other
other
to make
to
them
make them
twice as
twice as
tall.
tall.
Okay.
That's my
That's my
plan.
plan.
Someone's got to
Someone's got to
challenge the
challenge the
giant,
giant,
but I'm
but I'm
just
just
really
really
moving
moving
these
these
guys
guys
forward.
forward.
I'm
I'm
trying to
trying to
find the
find the
right
right
kind of
kind of
balance
balance
between
between
moving them
moving them
forward
forward
and
and
getting them
getting them
in
in
range of
range
the
of the
enemy
enemy
before they
before they
can
can
make an
make an
attack. I
attack.
don't
I
want to
don't
get
want to
them
get
in
them in
range of
range
the
of the
enemy to
enemy
make
to
it
make it
easy
easy
for
for
them
them
before I
before
can
I can
attack
attack
because I want
because I
to be
want
the
to be the
first to
first to
attack.
attack.
You know what
You
I'm
know what I'm
saying?
saying?
There, you don't. When I say like movement is 10 inches, you're not required to move the entirety of the 10 inches.
I
I
know.
know.
Okay.
But
But
like
like
for
for
instance,
instance,
if we're
if we're
looking at
looking at
this big
big
giant
giant
over on
over
the
on the
left
left
hand
hand
side over
side over
there,
there,
right?
right?
Okay.
The
The
movement
movement
he
he
has
has
is
is
10
10
inches, you
inches, you
said,
said,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
if
if
any of
any of
my
my
guys
guys
move
move
anywhere
anywhere
close to
close to
him,
him,
we are
we are
basically
basically
damn it,
damn it,
we're
we're
basically
basically
putting
putting
ourselves in
ourselves in
range
range
from
from
so
so
giving him
giving
the
him the
advantage
advantage
to
to
move
move
first.
first.
And
And
maybe this
maybe
is
this is
my own
my own
fault
fault
because
because
I
I
learned to
learned to
play
play
pool
pool
before I
before
ever
I ever
played a
played a
war
war
game.
game.
But I'm
But I'm
just kind
just
of
kind of
thinking that
thinking
you
that you
don't set
don't
up
set
the
up the
shot for
shot
the
for
other
the other
guy.
guy.
Hmm.
Right?
Right?
Hmm.
Does that
Does
make
that make
sense?
sense?
Yeah. Yeah. It's supposed to be. Uh, See, if you're going to play this through Command Post Gaming, uh, what there would be is I'm playing both a judge here because this is a demo, a judge here and the other side is kind of the op four. But normally,
Uh-huh.
what you would have is you'd have an opponent, two opponents or more, two teams perhaps, and at least one judge. And while you can't possibly move things at the same time, especially on this thing, um, maybe if you had some steaming hot computers, you could get away with it, but still would be chaotic. But the point
My
is that
experience is
Experience is
steaming hot
steaming hot
computers
computers
don't really
don't
work
really work
well.
well.
good point. Uh, but it's meant to be a simultaneous situation, even though it's done in alternates. In that the combat would be simultaneous. So, but we don't have that option here because I can't. There wasn't anybody else who was wanting to participate. One fellow was, but he didn't have the schedule to do it tonight. So maybe next time we can see that. So, what it sounds. I mean, is your thinking sound? It's how do I put this? Yes, it sounds like you're hesitant. Risk is part of the game, and if you want to be aggressive, you're going to have to realize that you're not any fight that you get into. You're not, even if you win, you're not coming out without scars. Put it to you that way. So while force preservation is something you should always be mindful of when you're fighting any conflict, um, if you're not willing to put some of your forces at risk, you are not willing to win.
Well, I'm
Well, I'm
willing to
willing to
risk
risk
if
if
there's a
there's a
reward.
reward.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't
I don't
see at
see
this
at this
point
point
there's
there's
any
any
reward to
reward
be
to be
gained by
gained by
getting
getting
closer.
closer.
So
So
I would
I
just
would just
make
make
him
him
have to
have to
take
take
less
less
steps
steps
before he
before he
attacks me.
attacks me.
In other
In other
words,
words,
if I
if I
just got
just
in
got in
range.
range.
Does that
Does
make
that make
sense?
sense?
Yeah.
And that
And that
doesn't
doesn't
seem
seem
useful to
useful
me.
to me.
Okay.
Now,
Now,
what's the
what's the
range on
range
these
on these
guys
guys
firing?
firing?
Who's guys? Use
Oh,
guys.
I'm
Oh, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Use
These
guys.
guys.
Right
Um,
Right here.
they are 15 and they are going backwards. Go ahead and turn that around at your nearest possible convenience. Here, I'll do it for you.
Oh, I got you.
Here, I got it. There you go.
I told you I had to all my pieces were all originally backwards. And they can only move an inch at a time.
Yeah, tree buckets really shouldn't be mobile on the battlefield, but given we're just kind of playing.
Sorry, folks listening. We know they're called trebuchets.
There's a lot of people that are familiar with calling them tree buckets, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't want anyone to think that we didn't know the difference.
Fair enough. So, okay, still checking. One of the things too, while you're doing this, not related to the game, but just want to mention, is that catching the rhythm of streaming like with live TV, there's a 7-second delay, and that's it. So you can get into a rhythm of that. But with streaming, it appears to be dependent on ping, and the delay can be much different. So I've been in situations where I've sat in on a live going, gee, I wish people would talk. Gee, I wonder why these guys aren't saying anything. I've also and then realized that because the individual is on the other side of the planet, and the internet connection may not be good on my end or his or hers or whoever it is. We counted. One guy says it took 3 minutes for what I typed for you to respond to it. And in other cases, it was not instantaneous ever, but it was far less than 3 minutes. So if you come on and you don't hear me reply to something you've typed, you're not being ignored. And vice versa. Sometimes when it's like YouTube will say there's nobody there, and there are in fact people there, it doesn't update the counter very quickly. So I've had that too, where I've gone, God, I wish people would show up. How come there's no one there? And there was actually 2 or 3 people in the thing listening to me complain. I was thinking I was talking to myself, and
Right.
So it used to be, and I hate to sound like in my day, but there used to be a lot of,
I can see the gray hair sprouting from your head as you say that.
Right. But you used to have situations where I think even Yahoo maybe did it, but whatever, where each person's ping was next to their name. And on YouTube, you don't get that. It would be helpful because I could say, oh, this guy's got, some astronomical pin. Clearly, if I pose a question to him, it'll be a while before I get a reply. Instead of me going,
my ping changes every few seconds.
Well, right.
So kind of hard to tell what I've got.
Right. That erratic crap that comes with certain companies. Yeah. So anyway, there's a myriad of reasons that can happen, but don't ever think that you're being ignored or something like that. And I have to keep reminding myself that, hey, this person very well may be wanting to communicate, but the delay is such that it isn't happening yet. So
can I ask you a favor, Storm?
Sure.
Can you
want to hear some more Sesame Street?
Point?
Why?
No.
You about done?
Unless it's the aliens with the telephone.
I'm sorry.
Ring. Yep, 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 yep.
Oh, you want to hear that? Why are we? Are you bowing out? Because we're finally to the good point.
No, I
No, I
wanted you
wanted
to
you to
save
save
before anything goes
wrong.
wrong. You know what I mean?
Sure, fair enough.
Like, if I bring a wrecking ball accidentally and I knock all my pieces over, because that
Speaking
could happen.
Speaking of wrecking ball, another benefit to this particular system is you can, and I'm sure there's others that can do this too, but you can. It has an MP3 player, and you can load um, music onto it. So and it doesn't have to be music. It can be just an MP3 of any type or wave or whatever. I think it takes wave too. So you can have a background audience. I logged into a dungeon that was created by somebody once, and it actually you could hear water dripping, and there was growling of monsters in the distance and stuff. It was and it was very dark, and it was you can change the lighting. So it this individual had spent a lot of time trying to get a vibe as well as just put together some models to play with, and it made the whole. And then the background was some sort of medieval background. So here we have our background is what I don't even know. Oh, it's nice. It's a hill. But you can
You,
get a
you,
vibe.
pardon me for just a moment. I'm so sorry. I will be right back.
So yeah, that's a neat deal. You can get music and soundboards and all that sort of stuff. And it's a lot of fun. So maybe we'll finally get some people to show up now that we've killed an hour dorking around and stuff like that. And get into the actual fight. So um, she has expended a ridiculous amount of her points on cavalry. And people say, well, why wouldn't you just assign something? Well, I wanted that agency thing. And to me, wargaming it's a fun hobby and all that. But when you got a new person, a lot of people go, well, let them win or they won't come back. And that very well may be true with a lot of people. But I don't do that. I think that the best way to learn is to learn by mistakes. And right now, the mistake, in my opinion, is an excess of cavalry and a lack of infantry. We shall see. Um, I may be wrong, but if it turns out that way, you know, we can discuss that. Because I think there's two things that hold people back beyond all the consistent talk about rules and complexity and complication and too hard to play and too long to play. I think a lot of people go, even if I learn the rules, I wouldn't know how to fight this unit. I don't know anything about tactics or strategy of this era or any era, maybe. So they would still feel like they were lost, even if they understood the rules. Okay, now I know what cavalry can do on the field, but how do I, employ them? Stuff like that. So the best way, in my opinion, is to play a couple of demo games, and when they realize, they go, "Well, these guys didn't do very well." Well, sometimes that can just be, fate, bad die rolls or such. But maybe you were trying to pound in a hammer with a wrench, and maybe doing double duty, teaching them rules while they choose whatever forces they want and realize that they've made a bad force composure. Now they might learn some tactics on top of learning how to play the game. So you kind of do double duty without telling them as such. So that's why I gave her full autonomy to purchase what she did. And, you know, or maybe you develop your own. Maybe you go, hey, this didn't work so bad. Maybe this turns out to be something, and then you go, from now on, I'm going to play that way. So we'll see how it goes. But in my estimation, if anything, I don't have enough, and she's got too much. So it might turn out that her mistake of too much will work out okay because of my mistake of not enough. So, and the orcs have a lack of they don't have pikemen or anything like that. Now you can rectify that. What I've done is I've made a handful of common fantasy races, orcs, elves, goblins, things, undead, and made a small selection of troop types just as here's some basic stuff to get you going type of thing. And then the rest is up to you. So you can create whatever you want with that customization system that I've got. So, but here in my basic lists, I didn't give any real anti-cavalry infantry or anything like that. Not that it would matter on the advance that much. So we'll have to see. But this isn't everything I got. Now, orcs may be dumb and all that, but they at least had enough doctrine in their small minds to strive for the 3-to-1 rule of thumb as far as attacking. So just getting them all out onto the field is a little bit much. So we'll see how that goes. And in retrospect, maybe holding this giant back and having him be more supportive than just some intimidating lone wolf might have been a better approach, but we'll see. So, but we'll just take a little intermission. Apparently, she needed an intermission. Of Mother Nature waits for no war game. That's my assumption. So. Appreciate everybody who's given me a bump on this thing. Would have, I don't know. Everybody's got a busy life. It's the evening. Even if you're not busy, you might have worked all day and don't feel like, you know.
Okay, I am so sorry for that.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Life happens.
Yeah. Duty calls.
Yes.
So, alrighty. So where were we at? Where did you leave your? Were you done? Were you?
Oh, I was done. I said I was done. Asked you to say, remember?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I didn't know that, but I've just for the purposes of keeping your. Okay, so I'll go ahead and make my stuff so you can observe. This should be it as far as no action or just movement. I think we should pretty much get into the thick of it right about here or close to. Maybe one more turn. Let's just. There it is again. There's that noise. I don't know if anybody else. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's in my ear. It's somewhat faint, and it's not affecting anything. But there's a noise that comes from I assume from you. I hope it's not me and my hard drive or whatever. But it sounds exactly like an Atari. Like if you've ever had somebody, like I had a sister who would do this, that wouldn't turn the machine, just pull the cartridge out without turning it off, and it would make this noise. Just weird. Oops, did I knock over your thing? Sorry.
Did you? What are you knocking over?
Nope, I didn't knock anything over. It just made a noise. Forgot to give these guys their thing. Each one of these should have their thing. They all get a thing. They're highly organized orcs with a thing. They got a thing. Sorry.
Okay.
Ooh, hey, you can play. Did you see that? You can play quarters. If you're a 3D modeler and you know how to make a tumbler, son of a gun, you could make a game. You could do quarters.
That's kind of cool. What kind of beer does it come with?
Somebody did that. Somebody had some beer thing and then it disappeared. So I don't know if the powers that be didn't like it or whatever. But
would you like to hear a completely useless fact?
Okay.
Did you know Johnny Appleseed was actually a real person?
Knew that.
Okay. Did you know what he did? Okay. You know that of course they were trying to settle the West, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they were giving out land. They didn't want people to just buy the land and then just sell it. So what they made a requirement by law was that if you bought or if you got some of this free land, it was required that you would have to have a fruit tree of some kind on it. The thinking behind that is it takes 10 years for any fruit tree to actually bear fruit. So people wouldn't want to, give up on their investment. They'd want to stick around for the fruit as an incentive. So Johnny Appleseed was one of those guys who actually planted fruit trees, apple trees in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is the thing I learned that I didn't know. Apples have a specific genetic adaptation that they use to protect themselves from predators. And the way it works is every apple tree will produce a different kind of apple entirely from the seeds of the apple tree, right? So if you plant a red delicious apple tree from the seed, you're not necessarily going to get a red delicious apple. Not that I like red delicious apples; they're like the worst apples in the world. But case in point, the reason you have so many different varieties of apples is every time you plant a seed, it is a different tasting, texture, juiciness. All the factors are different from the original tree. So if you want to make a Granny Smith apple, they're your favorite, and you want more of them, you have to take a cutting from an existing Granny Smith apple tree, and you have to splice it in a sapling to get a Granny Smith apple. Well, Johnny Appleseed was very religious, so he did not believe in this. He thought it was usurping the will of God that Jesus would want him overriding the way he made apples to be propagated by something as base as human grafting of saplings or whatever. So he didn't do it. So what this led to, and this is so wild how this all comes full circle. He planted all these apples. Now, people didn't realize for 10 years they really kind of got ripped off by him. They were expecting apples they could eat, but they couldn't eat the apples. So the only thing they were suitable for was apple cider, which people were getting drunk on. Well, apparently this was causing trouble in people's households. So this league of women got together and they set all the orchards on fire.
because they didn't want their husbands getting drunk on the apple cider anymore. I guess they figured they'd help out around the house, but being industrious as they were, they just switched to beer instead. And then, of course, that had its own problems. And so you had the whole temperance movement was formed, which later led to temperance organization, led to the connections that people used to create the abolitionist movement and also feminism. So, so Johnny Appleseed invented feminism and led directly to the Civil War. Thank you, Johnny Appleseed.
Bro, what?
Yeah. He set in motion the chain of events that led to all of those things, and also the creation of the mafia, because prohibition was his fault too. Sort of.
What a douchebag. All right, your turn.
What a douche. So what you?
Yep.
Well, I don't know, but that's it's just like next time you think that one person can't make a difference. Look what Johnny Appleseed did.
Look how many things Johnny Appleseed liked up
together.
Let's see how much destruction one idiot's decision can do. Look at this.
I don't know. I thought good things came out of it. Personally, I like having the right to own property and escape an abusive marriage. So I'm okay with it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if you escape the abuse of that giant that's moving up on your flank there. It is your toin.
My toin?
Yeah.
Okay, so I he moved out of range of my archer's knee, that little bastard. Like he sidestepped, didn't he? Because you said they could fire 10 inches, right?
Right.
I don't like the giant. If my archers move, can they also fire after they move?
Yes,
Like penalty or what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for him to be in range of firing, they'd have to move to here. All right. I'm stealing this quarter, okay?
Feel free to steal the quarter.
Okay.
Oh, don't put him on the slope. Oh, you did.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
Here.
I got him. Let me do it.
We need to figure out what are you doing?
I'm moving him.
We need to figure out what you can't see that shadow at all, huh?
No.
We need to fix that. That's kind of a key to making this thing work. Otherwise, you're going to have that all the time. So there you go. Now you can set them up.
Okay.
But yeah, that's probably, if you go to your menu and your configuration and your graphics.
It's okay. Even if I could see it, I would probably still have trouble getting things aligned right. I drop things in real life too, like perpetually all the time for no rhyme or reason. I'll just be holding the remote control in my hand, and then all of a sudden my hand will do this kind of weird clicking motion, and it's on the floor. Can't be helped.
Is there anything else you'd like to move? You want me to set those up while you do the rest of the moving?
No. I want to fire on this guy, the archers, once I get them in place here.
Did you hear that?
What was it?
Okay, that's what I was hoping you'd say.
Okay.
Anybody got anything?
These guys are going to fire these flaming arrows at this giant.
Are they? Okay.
They are.
Okay.
That's what they're doing.
Hmm.
What do you think they were doing there?
The fabulous flaming arrow.
Yes. Fabulous.
It's fabulous.
Did you just see? He's got really bad breath. This guy.
Right? Did you see him? Like he's coughing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if that's like from smoking or if he's got a breath attack or
Maybe it's because it's cold.
maybe he's supposed to be a frost giant. Maybe it's a Jerry Garcia giant.
Well, he's about to be gratefully dead.
Ah, waka waka waka.
Okay.
Okay, so here's how this works. You have a list of modifiers. Now, folks, if you're ever watching this, because it doesn't look like there's anybody watching it now, but if you ever do watch this and you're interested, there's a mighty long list of modifiers. Now, for people who make very snap judgments, you may already, even if you were here, you might be going, no, I hate that. But if you would just bear with for a second, these are all that you could use. I try to think of everything and put it in there, and with the caveat that the player is encouraged to line item veto what he or she does not like. This concept is a simple one that we call scalable realism. Now, you may or may not believe that modifiers provide actual realism. I get it. But it's just, the idea that more consideration of detail tended to be associated with people trying to achieve realism. The buzz phrase, the quick little catchphrase is it's scalable. So the bottom line is you are not required to. And of course, I shouldn't even have to overtly mention this because if anybody back in the day was playing something this is meant to be some sort of kind of late 70s type of homage, kind of a retro clone of the stuff I played. And there was often people that just go, yeah, no, we don't need that. And we'll just do exactly what I'm saying. Line item veto it till it was at a density that was acceptable to them. I recommend not using pen to scratch shit out because maybe there might be a day where you go, you know what, you're right. Maybe we should add this one in, or maybe we should take this one out and change it with this one. So it's up to you. But anyway, that's where we're at with that.
Or you could
I,
start with low realism and then add them in as get more experience with the game, right? So as a
Sure.
newbie, that's kind of probably what I would want to do.
right,
Like if it's too complex to start with, maybe just stick to the simple basics till I learn the game, and then go for the full scale realism once I feel up to the challenge, right?
right. That's a lot of people that oh, those old games were so complex and all that. They all had that kind of what I called wading into the deep end deal. Now, when I say all, somebody will be like, no, this one did, and they'll always find the exception of the rule. But generally, you would find rules that were divided into basic, intermediate, and advanced. And they would say, start with the basics, learn the rules, play a couple of basic scenarios. When you like it and you want to get more taste out of it, then move to the intermediate, and so on and so forth. So, and I just consider that just like starting at the shallow end and then immersing yourself in it as you walk towards the deeper end of the pool. So, yeah, just kind of ease into it. Absolutely that.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So, all righty. So anyway, so here's what you have. I misspoke. Yes, I do know my own rules. Give me a break. I'm old. It's actually a -2 if you're an archer that has moved this turn.
Okay.
All right. Now. So I guess here's what we'll do. Well, in the interest of just getting it all down.
I want a +1 modifier for DM speaking, please.
Right, there you go.
Yeah. Why not? Seems realistic to me.
Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. So, if you look through all these, there are two that apply. It's a long range attack. This thing is about 10 inches away, right? It's just within range, correct?
No. I think we moved closer.
Okay. What was the measure?
Let me see.
I'll do it. Or you do it if you're faster.
No, you do it. That way if you break it, you won't yell at me. Ha.
Fair enough.
I guess he is right at 10 inches.
Right. Okay. So you get a -2 for the movement, a -2 for the long range. Sorry. And there will likely be more.
And I get a +1 because the moderator likes me.
You get there is a difference in the size. So the target is large.
Yeah, so I should get a +5 for that. I mean, how can I miss him? He's the size of 2 barns. I'm not kidding. I'm being serious here.
So the attack is ranged. It's actually it's actually a -6, but you do get a size bonus, so it actually ends up being a -3. Okay. So, and that is okay. So. Dun, 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 dun. So it's a -3. Roll your d12.
Okay.
Which I made magenta for you right there.
Well, that's technically pink, but okay. I'll take it.
You can change it to whatever you believe is magenta, then, and change it as you will where to go.
I got an 8.
Okay. So your ranged attack is an 8. So if you go right here to the little table. Now, again, this is not the product. This is the playtest. You have mortally wounded.
Ha ha.
Now, because he's animated, I think. Oh, he's not like that kind of animated, so I can't make him go there and die like he should. This is cool, but that's all right. So it looks like we'll have to. First, you got to use the right tool for the job, and then. Okay. So down he goes.
Yes.
And.
That was just the first part of my move, right?
Well, actually, you're supposed to move then attack, but it's okay.
Oh. Well, I did move then attack with my archers.
Right, but you're supposed to move everything and then.
Oh.
Yeah.
It didn't say everything.
Well, fair enough.
Sorry, I'm a little bit literal, so it said move then attack, so I moved and attacked with my archers, but
Where is when?
I
Okay, but
didn't move that
where did it say that though? Show me. Not that I don't want to say, hey, you're stupid or whatever. If I wrote it that way, then I want to change it because I don't believe
the turn sequence says move, and then it has the range attack, and then yeah. I thought that was like the turn sequence for each unit that we're doing.
No, that's for the whole entire side. So there's the misunderstanding. Okay, like you say, you're
So you move and then attack with your unit all at once. Okay. I guess that kind of makes sense because otherwise,
right, move everything you want to move. Then when you're done moving everything you want to move, attack with whatever you want to attack with after that. That's how it goes.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, then.
So we did one at least. So just move everything, and then we'll go back to the rest of the attack. So we do it right.
Okay.
So much for tutorial demo. I'm fucking everything up. But no one's.
No, I misunderstood. I should have clarified ahead of time. I just thought I knew. Okay. Ooh. Let's see, what am I going to do here? What about cavalry who's going to move and attack at the same time?
What?
Like cavalry, they move and attack at the same time? Like they have a move attack, right?
You mean charge? You're saying charge is a move and attack at the same time?
That's what I would assume, right?
Yeah. No, but I understand why you say that. So
These guys can move 4 inches, right?
to find these guys.
Footnote,
No.
earth guard.
No, they can move 6.
Oh.
Any unit that's on its own, or any person that's on its own, and it's a human, they can move 6.
Okay. But if they're in formation,
They move 4. Right.
Gotcha.
There it is again.
What?
That noise. And I don't know if maybe it's me. It might be. I might have a short. That's fine. It's not affecting anything. I don't even know if you can hear it on the stream, but I just keep hearing it. Those guys can move 6 also.
Oh, they
even
can.
though they're in a unit. Even though they're a unit, because they're like, yeah, they're one of those fast movement type of deals.
Okay.
So I'm excuse me, 7. They can move 7.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oops.
So,
Okay.
you know,
Well, go ahead.
this is our first attempt at this, and definitely there's ways we can expedite it and all that. We'll talk about that later. But okay, so you've made your move.
Not yet.
Okay.
Now, what's the movement right for my cavalry?
10 inches.
You said his movement was 6 for these, or what was it? I'm sorry.
For what?
For the cavalry.
10.
10. Oh, that's right. Can
So,
you point
yeah,
where I can?
behind this quarter.
Okay.
Are you trying to charge those guys?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I landed on one of them.
Yeah. Bro.
Okay. All right. I'm attacking this unit and this unit.
Okay, you didn't put these in contact, but you had enough room so they would be in contact, right?
Yeah, they're meant to be. I just didn't want to knock things over.
Right. Okay. Just yeah, okay. Let go. Let go.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I did let go.
okay. Okay. All right. That's that. Next, anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Bum 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 bum. I keep doing that. Oops.
Okay. Sorry. You might hear my cat. I have to keep her off the keyboard.
Putty cat. Putty cat.
She's a pretty kitty.
Putty cats hate war games. War games and cats are mortal enemies.
Everybody who's ever wargamed knows that the cat is the most destructive force known to wargaming. Even on VTT, the cat still has this genetic disposition to wanting to wreck your wargame. What button? Like this cat will find a way to hit. Like if there's a shortcut for table flip, I don't think there is, but if there was, the cat would find it. It would do it.
She's flipped the table on me before.
Yep.
That should be your next project.
What's that?
It's a war game. It's basically cat versus wargaming table.
Mm-hmm. I heard her.
Yeah, she likes to talk.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for.
What am I trying to roll?
Just roll one of your. Just roll that purple, or whatever color you want to call it. Die. Okay. All righty.
11.
11. Mhm. I heard it again and again. Loud kitty.
Is she loud?
Yeah, that's all right. Nobody minds. They like kitties.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She sounds like a bird. Gigi.
Hmm.
She sounds like a little turtle dove.
Roll your d12 for damage again, or just for damage. You've made a hit. Do the damage. Did you hear? Okay, you did. What is the result?
9.
9. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So your attack, the there's a -2 to the damage due to the heavy armor of the orcs. So you're down to a 7.
Okay.
Which means
Which means
I
you've
put him in
got
the hospital. They don't even have health care.
these are not socialist orcs. Okay.
that's right. What a good kitty.
Okay.
There.
I am. And
What does it mean that I with my roll attack? What does that mean?
So what you roll again, the first one that was hit, you're plowing through the formation. 2 of your horses, now you got me say, 2 of the cavalry have made contact. So, well, I'm sorry, 3, and then the next 2 on the next round. So, roll again for the second one. So you roll once to hit, then you roll once for damage. And
And it was 7.
okay. So that's a hit. Now roll for damage. And subtract 2 for the heavy armor. No, excuse me. Not this time.
Was like six.
Add 2.
Add two. Okay. Eight.
Okay. Okay. So you ran him over, and he is knocked down. And why that one did that? Here. Something, is a cat attacking you?
Yes, she's rubbing on my face.
Oh, that's what I'm hearing. Okay, do the same thing again.
Four.
Okay, that's a miss.
No, they can't.
All right. So 2 of them, one soldier and the musician, were run over, were struck down. It's really not a charge. You're too far away for a charge. You come into contact. So basically, uh, the cavalry ran up to them, used their giant weapons, their glowing lightsabers of doom, and sliced up those orcs. They're down on the ground, crying for mommy. Mm-hmm. And wounded, mortally wounded. Mm-hmm. So all in all, a good thing. Now, we're going to give you the 2 leaders here. So roll for these 2. The first one you add 2, and the second one you don't add or subtract anything. Okay. How do you like it? Is it too slow? It's probably too slow, huh?
No, I like it.
Okay. So go ahead and roll. You need, to beat a 6 for the hit. Okay. Are you indisposed by your cat? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Say again.
Here, I'll just roll it for you. I'm calling that a cock die. Yeah. Okay. All right. You got 1. Why is this thing behaving that way? Are you surfing the web or something?
No.
Okay. Is there somebody talking to me? No.
No.
All right. 8. So you got 1 hit. You got 2 hits. Okay. So the one with the bonus damage is a 12. So he's super dead. Squashy. And the one for so the other one, this guy is like dead, removed from play dead. This guy is wounded and drops the banner. Ooh. Okay. Now, All righty. Okay, let me do this. Hey, are you asleep?
I am
I am
not.
not.
I swear
Why
I
would
heard
you say such a thing?
you sound like you're sleeping.
How
How
can that
can that
sound?
I can just tell. Are you sleeping?
I'm
I'm
asleep
asleep
right
right
now.
now.
Okay. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay. There you go.
Say that again.
So what do you think?
I think
think
Ivanhoe. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I
I
win,
win,
right?
right?
I have
I
one.
have one.
What was
What
the
was the
result of
result
my
of my
attack on
attack
the
on the
orcs?
orcs?
Hmm?
Well, okay. Let's do this. Uh, um, well, you ran several over and hurt them and or killed them.
That's good. Do I get
I
to
get to
see the
see the
destruction I have caused?
Um, yeah, they're marked. Uh, so, um, is your phone handy?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you take a look at it? Because I'm going to send you a text.
Okay.
Okay.
You're
You're
typing.
typing.
Hmm.
Do 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 do. All right. Well, let's. Okay. So yeah, you did wipe. You heard a few things out. One of the things you should do at this point, or can do. Well, I shouldn't say should, but can, and it kind of is a benefit. I know you like the stands, but
Mm-hmm.
these guys you want you, they, you know, want to move them. You might want to move them individually.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
kind of
kind of
like
like
the
the
stance at
stance
this
at
point,
point.
Okay.
but I
But I
also
also
think
think
we
we
might be
might be
getting
getting
to
to
the
the
we
we
have
have
been
been
running
running
the
the
stream
stream
now for
now for
3 hours. I
hours. I
think
think
we
you
might
might
want to
want to
say
say
where
where
we're
we're
at.
at.
If you
If you
can
can
mark
mark
down the
down the
results of
results of
this
this
so that
so that
we
we
have
have
it
it
for
for
our
our
next
next
game.
game.
because I think now we've really kind of gotten into the meat of it, and I don't want to go too far and have a long, lead up time to where we're kind of, waiting for something to happen. Now we have the excitement of what is happening. We kind of pick up here, and I think it would be a very exciting game from this point. Does that make sense?
So, but in other words, you say it hasn't been exciting up to this point. So that's kind of the problem.
Well, I mean, admittedly, mostly what we've been doing is moving pieces to get them into the range, which is an important part of it. But
no, that's honestly that's why people go these. That's why they don't like it.
huh?
That's what people.
That's what?
Mm,
Well, at this point, though, I think we've got a good start to it, and I think now we're at the point where I definitely would want to pick this up next week. If anybody's interested in that,
that's exactly the stuff. Oh wait, hold on.
Okay. Well,
Just wait.
I can feel my blood sugar is a little out of whack right now. It's another thing, so I apologize for that.
Okay, so just read that. And let's see where we can go from there. A different type of game, like different rules. So
I think we're at a good stopping point right now, and I'd love to come back next week and really get into the actual battle part of it.
mhm.
And I want to thank everybody who's been listening up to this point. But I gotta say my blood sugar is a little bit off right now. I'm diabetic, so there's an issue with that right now.
Okay. All righty. So, how long has that issue? I mean, it's your personal business, so you don't. But have you felt a little sluggish through the game?
I've been feeling a bit woozy over here. I have to admit. That's why I had to go into the.
Oh, since the game started, kind of.
Yeah. Well, since I went to get a drink, which was about I don't know about an hour ago.
I mean, you couldn't really eat. You kind of had to run right into this game, like you were saying, and that kind of
Exactly. I didn't get a chance because the grandkids are over. They stayed over an extra day, which I was planning on when we set this up. So, yeah, I think I didn't have a chance to eat, or I can feel that kind of headache coming on that I get when the blood sugar's not right. So,
okay. All right, that's fair.
sorry
we've
about
got it
that.
saved. Yeah, that's all right. We'll save it, and we'll start from here next time.
All righty. Sounds good. I look forward to it.
Okay.
Okay. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Well.